Welcome back to this State series, and this week we'll be going over the State of Porto as we continue this deep dive into Premier League. Well, what to say about Porto then? They've had a great campaign so far, at least in terms of the league, and although they haven't seen the same success in the Champions League, now in the Europa League I think that they have more of a chance of winning it all. Welcome back to the JVM Football channel, where you can find game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. If you are interested and would like more football content like this, please subscribe to the channel. So, in typical State fashion series, let's go over my predictions and how they have fared so far. And once again, I said this in the past two videos, guys. I didn't make any predictions for Premier League, so I didn't have any predictions for Porto. But going back into my mind state at the time and where I expected Porto to be this season, I didn't really have much expectation for them. I really thought that in the Premier League it was really going to be between Sporting and Benfica battling it out for first place, with Porto coming third. And in the Champions League, I also did not believe that they were going to go through, which they didn't. But that's about it. I had faith for Porto. I didn't have faith for Porto in any area. This is not because Porto is a weak squad or because their manager is not capable. It's just because Sporting won the league last season and they didn't show any signs of slowing down. And Benfica should have won the league last season, and they're coming back this season with, in my opinion, a better squad. So I didn't see any chances for them in the Premier League. And in terms of the Champions League, they were unlucky to be in the same group as Liverpool, Atletico, and AC Milan. AC Milan had a great campaign in the 2020-2021 season. Atletico Madrid won the league, and Liverpool, although they finished third, and although last season was one of their worst seasons, they still finished third in the Premier League. And if we were going to talk about the Premier League, we were talking about one of, if not the best league in the world. So just from that standpoint alone, you can begin to see why I didn't have much faith for Porto. But they have surprised me, I have to say that, especially in the Premier League, because they are first right now, 6 points ahead of Sporting on equal games played. Do I believe that that Porto has won the league and that nothing else will happen from now until the end of the season? No, because we've seen in previous Premier Leagues that this league is quite a peculiar one, and teams tend to drop points towards the end of the season. So if Sporting keeps steady, Benfica is out of the run. They are right now 12 points behind Porto, so they're done. But Sporting, they're 6 points behind. If Porto will lose one game, or if they draw one game, the pressure's back on. There's already pressure now, but if they fumble once, the pressure is 100% back on, and they still have to play Benfica again. I think they have to play Sporting again, to be fair. So yeah, it's not going to be an easy road for Porto, but if we're talking right now, they have done well. The Champions, so that's what has been going well. What has gone well for Porto. Now, what has gone wrong for Porto? Well, we need to go to the Champions League to look at that. Again, they didn't really have much hope in this competition anyways, but they still managed to get a win, but they lost 3 games and drew another one. Not really good for Porto, really. And they were truly unlucky because they ended with 2 points behind Atletico, and it is hard to see. You're in first place in the league, but Benfica and Sporting go into the next phase and you don't. It's quite hard to see, but this may be a blessing in disguise, as Porto now have a chance to go far in the Europa League. Keyword far. I don't think they will win it, but at least they're going to go far. Because comparing to their rivals, are Sporting and Benfica really going to do anything special in the Champions League? I think that this is as far as Sporting and Benfica will go in the Champions League. They won't go past this round. But Porto, they can do something special. They are right now in the made-up playoffs. All these new rules they're making up. They're in these playoffs with Lazio, and they won the first leg 2-1 on Thursday. They have one more. They have another game tomorrow against Lazio, and if they win, I mean, by the time you guys watch this, it would already have been decided. But Porto have one more game against Lazio, and hopefully they win that and go into the Europa League next phase. And I believe that they can get at least into the quarterfinals or semi-finals of the competition. There is potential there. So being knocked out of the Champions League, although not ideal, especially from a financial standpoint, because you get a big check from just going from the round of 16. That's why every team goes hard in the Champions League. They're in the Europa League, and hopefully they can see more success than that. Another thing that has gone wrong for Porto, though it's not that much of a big deal, I would say that they've not performed as well in the cup competition, which is called Taça da Liga. They're second in their group behind Santa Clara, and this can be another competition where Porto can win. Really and truly, they could have a fake treble if they win the Europa League, with the league, the cup, and the league, the cup, and the Europa League. It's not the Champions League, but it's the Europa League. You can have a second tier treble with that. So Porto have the potential to do that this season. So hopefully they can do that as well. Now looking at who has been Porto's star performers, and this would be a much nicer conversation if Luis Diaz was still in the club. Luis Diaz had been Porto's main player, their best player, at the age of 25. So far, at least so far before he went to Liverpool, he had scored 14 goals and assisted another 4 times in 18 games played in the league alone. So that's 18 goal involvements in 18 games. He had to go. He had to go because these Portuguese clubs, what they're really good is at selling. They don't make much money in the league, so they make, I would say, most of or a big portion of their revenue by selling big talents. And Luis Diaz was one of those. If you want the cycle of these players and these clubs, they perform very well in the league and then they end up going to big clubs in Europe. With Luis Diaz now going to Liverpool, it's a shame really, because he was a big help for Porto. 14 goals in 18 games, man, that's outrageous. So I can't count Luis Diaz, but the second man in charge for them, I'll give it to Otavio. In 21 games played, 10 assists. That's something. I remember back in the day, Otavio wasn't really that player you would count on to really come through. He was a rotational player, but this season he's coming through. In the Champions League he didn't really do anything special, but in the league, again, 10 assists in 21 games. He's already in double figures for assists, and we're halfway through the season, so that's quite good. Yeah, I think Otavio is going to be a really key player moving forward for Porto. But anyways, that's it, guys. Again, this is just the state series where I'll go over my predictions, what has gone well, what has gone wrong, and the key players for the club. So just a little recap. What has gone, my predictions for Porto. I didn't really have much expectation for them, so in that scenario, they've done pretty well. What has gone well for Porto? They're killing it in the league. What has gone wrong for Porto? They didn't make it past to the round of 16 in the Champions League, but that may just be a blessing in disguise. And their main performers so far this season, I'll give it to Otavio and Luis Diaz. But anyways, thank you very much for watching the video to the end, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. This is the beginning of something special, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and help me to grow this channel.